Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The honorable judges and all audiences. I am Ingmar Rezanistu Atullah and I study at Muhammadiyah 9 Surabaya Senior High School. Today, I'd like to deliver some speech about how to be a future leader. Is there any of you here want to be a future leader? I believe most of you who watch this video want to be a leader. But my question is how? How can we be a future leader? Well, before I go further, let me tell you a story about Buya Hamka. Buya Hamka is Indonesian scholar and literati. He also had a career as a journalist, teacher, and writer. His habit in reading and writing successfully brought him in write the interpretation of Quran 30 juz. It's impossible to write it if we barely read, isn't it? This habit should be implemented for students nowadays. According to UNESCO, an Indonesian reading interest is very, very small. It's only 0.001%. That means out of 1,000 people of Indonesia, only one is interested in reading. This is so bad. So, what can we learn from it? Let's start from small things first, such as read and write a lot. Maybe you can read some newspapers, some science book, some novel book, some comics book, or anything you like. We, as a young generation and a future leader, we can change our life only by reading. The more we read, the more we learn. Okay, the next inspiring story is coming from A.R. Fahrudin. He is known as a figure of a great religious leader of Muhammadiyah. One day, he ever visited the house of one of the branch administrator. The host at that time didn't treat him well, like giving some unsweetened tea and tasteless meal. The host was really sorry for that and asked for apologize to him. But surprisingly, A.R. Fahrudin didn't upset at all. Instead, he said, I don't mind if you give me some unsweetened tea and tasteless meal. It protects me from high blood pressure and diabetes. So don't feel bad about it. See how humble he was being a great leader at that time. He can be treated well, but he kept humble and respectful to the host. And that's what we can learn from him. In another cases, when a people is already in above, he forget where they come from. That reminds us that being humble and low-key are essential, especially for being a leader. Like a popular proverb, being arrogant is like you standing in the top of mountain. You see the others are small, but you didn't realize the others also saw you small too. So don't be arrogant. Okay, the third inspiring story is coming from Mas Mansur. Mas Mansur has taught us for being a disciplined leader in the past. As a chairman of executive board, Mas Mansur is a leader who is strictly disciplined, especially for settling the time for the convening. According to the time mentioned in the invitation, several times he ever canceled a meeting because at that appointed moment, the attendance was far from enough. This even succeeded in raising the consciousness of his friend, which caused the trial to be smoother because it could start in time. The last but not least, being a great leader is so much harder than it looks. What difficult is that nobody ever sits you down and teach you what is being a real leader is all about. There is no class in early education that defines leadership. Yet, we can learn from the great religious leader of Muhammadiyah like Buya Hamka, A.R. Fahrudin, and Mas Mansur. This is me, the next Muhammadiyah future leader. Nasrun minallah wa fahrun karib wa basiril muminin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye guys.